Have you ever known someone who felt like a paradox? A soul both ancient and new, a quiet observer who in a fleeting moment could reveal a universe of understanding in their eyes. They are the rarest of personalities, moving through the world like a deep, gentle current beneath a still surface. They are the keepers of secrets, not because they are deceptive, but because their inner world is a vast, intricate landscape they believe few would have the patience to navigate. This is the story of the advocate, the personality type known as the INFJ, a complex tapestry of traits that can both enchant and confuse those who draw near. They are guardians of human connection, yet often feel profoundly alone, a lighthouse on a distant shore, guiding others safely to harbor while weathering the storm in solitude. To understand them is to appreciate the beautiful contradictions that define them. Today, we journey into the heart of this enigma, exploring the hidden characteristics that make them one of the most misunderstood personalities. We will peel back the layers, not to solve a puzzle, but to appreciate the artistry of a soul woven from threads of logic and emotion, introversion and social grace, profound empathy and guarded privacy. This exploration is an invitation to see beyond the quiet exterior and connect with the profound depth that lies within, fostering a greater understanding for the INFJs in our lives, and perhaps within ourselves. The first and most bewildering trait is their paradoxical nature, the seamless fusion of cold logic and profound emotion. An INFJ does not live in one world or the other. They are citizens of both. Imagine a brilliant architect meticulously designing a skyscraper, every calculation precise, every angle perfect. Now, imagine that same architect weeping at the beauty of a symphony, completely overcome by the music. The INFJ is both. They can sit with a friend in crisis, methodically outlining a step-by-step plan to solve their problems, all while their own heart is physically aching with shared sorrow. This duality is not a switch they flip. It is their constant state of being. This integration of head and heart is powered by their unique cognitive wiring. Their intuition allows them to see the logical consequences of actions far down the road, creating a framework for rational decision-making. Simultaneously, their deep attunement to the emotional atmosphere gives them a powerful sense of what is right and harmonious for the people involved. To an outsider, this can appear as maddening inconsistency. One day they are a stoic strategist, the next, a deeply sensitive empath. But for the INFJ, logic provides the map, and emotion provides the compass. They use both to navigate the complexities of life, and they cannot understand a world where one must be chosen over the other. Next, we encounter the mystery of the extroverted introvert. While INFJs are fundamentally introverts who draw their energy from solitude, they possess a remarkable social dexterity. They can be mistaken for extroverts at gatherings, engaging in conversations with a warmth and depth that makes others feel seen and valued. They are not merely pretending. They genuinely cherish these moments of deep connection. However, this social performance consumes an immense amount of energy. Think of it as a smartphone battery, starting at 100%. A true extrovert's battery recharges with social interaction. The INFJ's battery drains with every meaningful exchange, no matter how enjoyable. This leads to a confusing pattern for friends and loved ones. An INFJ might be the heart of a party on Saturday night, captivating everyone with their insights and laughter. But on Sunday, they will vanish. Their phone goes unanswered, their presence withdrawn. It is not a sign of moodiness or rejection. It is a necessary retreat into their sanctuary of silence to recharge that depleted battery. They are not antisocial, they are selectively social. They crave depth over breadth, preferring one profound conversation to an evening of superficial small talk. To love an INFJ is to understand their need for the cave, to respect their silence, and to know that their withdrawal is not a reflection of you, but a requirement for their own well-being. Perhaps the most mystical and misunderstood trait is their powerful intuition. This is not a parlor trick or a vague premonition. It is a highly active, subconscious process of pattern recognition. Their minds are constantly absorbing subtle data from their environment. A flicker in someone's eyes, a slight hesitation in their voice, a detail that seems out of place. While others see disconnected pieces of information, the INFJ's mind connects these dots behind the curtain of consciousness, delivering the final conclusion as a sudden, unshakable gut feeling. They simply know things without knowing how they know. This can be incredibly frustrating, both for the INFJ and for those around them. Imagine an INFJ meeting a new business partner who charms everyone in the room. On the surface, everything is perfect, but the INFJ feels a deep internal alarm bell ringing. When pressed to explain, they can't offer concrete proof. They might say there was a darkness in his smile, or his stories don't quite align. To a more concrete thinker, this sounds like baseless paranoia. The INFJ is often dismissed, only to be proven right months later when the partner's true, deceptive nature is revealed. Trusting this inner voice when it contradicts all available evidence is one of the INFJ's greatest challenges and most formidable gifts. This leads us to another profound paradox: their deep empathy coupled with a fierce selective openness. INFJs are emotional sponges. They don't just sympathize with what you are feeling, they absorb it. When you are joyful, they feel your elation. When you are in pain, they feel a tangible echo of your suffering within their own being. This makes them unparalleled listeners and counselors, capable of holding space for others' darkest emotions without judgment. They can spend hours drawing out a friend's troubles, offering a sanctuary of understanding and support. Yet, when the focus turns to them, a steel door often slams shut. The INFJ who so freely enters these true emotional worlds of others rarely grants access to their own. This is not hypocrisy. It is a deeply ingrained defense mechanism. Firstly, they fear being misunderstood. Their inner world is so complex that they believe articulating it would be a futile exercise, leading only to misinterpretation. Secondly, they are terrified of being a burden. Having felt the weight of others' emotions their entire lives, the last thing they want is to add their own struggles to someone else's load. So they guard their hearts, sharing their truest selves with only a select, trusted few who have earned the key to their inner sanctum over many years. Flowing from this deep inner world is their relentless perfectionism. This is not the stereotypical perfectionism of a neatly organized desk or a color-coded closet, though that may be a symptom. For the INFJ, perfectionism is a profound, almost spiritual quest for alignment. They carry within them a vivid, idealized vision of how the world, their relationships, and their life's work should be. They strive tirelessly to make their external reality match this internal blueprint. This drive is not for fame or fortune, but for meaning and authenticity. This pursuit of the ideal can lead to extraordinary achievements, but it also comes at a great cost. An INFJ might abandon a project 99% of the way to completion if it doesn't perfectly capture their vision. They may leave a high-paying job that society deems successful because it feels devoid of purpose. In relationships, they yearn for a soul-deep connection and can feel unfulfilled by anything less. This constant gap between their ideals and the messy reality of life can lead to chronic self-criticism, anxiety, and a persistent feeling of not being good enough. Learning to embrace imperfection, to find beauty in the flawed and the real, is one of the most important life lessons for an INFJ. Finally, we arrive at their aversion to conflict. INFJs are natural peacemakers who value harmony above almost all else. The raw, aggressive energy of a direct confrontation is physically and emotionally draining to them. It feels like a violent disruption of their internal equilibrium. Consequently, they will often go to great lengths to avoid arguments, sometimes to their own detriment. In a meeting, they might hold back a brilliant but controversial idea to avoid ruffling feathers. In a relationship, they may suppress their own needs for months, even years, to maintain a peaceful facade. This can make them seem passive or indecisive to more confrontational personality types. But do not mistake their silence for agreement or their patience for weakness. Every time an INFJ swallows their words or endures a slight, a line is being drawn in the sand. And when a core value is repeatedly violated, they reach a breaking point. When that happens, the peacemaker disappears and the guardian of values emerges. They will not explode in anger. Instead, they will perform what is known as the INFJ door slam. Quietly, calmly, and irrevocably, they will cut the offending person out of their life. This sudden, decisive action can be shocking to those who only ever saw the gentle, accommodating side, never realizing the deep resolve that lay beneath. The INFJ is a study in contrasts, logical and emotional, social and solitary, empathetic and guarded, idealistic and conflict-averse. These are not flaws to be corrected, but facets of a deeply complex and rare personality. They are the quiet counselors, the intuitive visionaries, and the tireless advocates for a better, more compassionate world. To understand them is to accept their need for both deep connection and profound solitude. It is to trust their insights even when they cannot be explained, and to appreciate that their silence speaks louder than words. They remind us that the most profound strength is often found not in the noise of the crowd, but in the quiet integrity of a well-guarded heart. By embracing these hidden traits, we can build bridges of understanding to the INFJs in our lives, allowing them to feel truly seen, perhaps for the first time. And if you recognize this intricate pattern within yourself, know that your complexity is not a burden, but a gift. Your unique way of seeing and being in the world is needed now more than ever. The world benefits immensely from those who can hold both logic and compassion in the same hand, who can dream of a perfect future while working patiently in an imperfect present. Your depth is your strength.